You guys, you guys, look at this. Holy crap! Look how big that is. That's huge. There we go. That is 18 pounds of the Draw Steel Ajax edition. I have a face up here somewhere. We're going to do an unboxing. I think the Dice Society already did their unboxing, and I didn't watch the video because I wanted to be able to do my own, and I wanted like live reactions and stuff. So strap in.
All right, let's get started. This is gorgeous. The sword is iridescent. I love it. I have already managed to put some scuffies on it, but that's okay. They will come right off. We open the box. Oh, okay. You can't see this from where you are. I'm going to have to move this. There is full-sized Ajax the Saint art inside this box. Full-on Saint Ajax. Love it. So what do we have in here? We have a coin. That's very cool. There is the Ram of Ajax on one side, and there is Cressida Velociter et Frangeres. Am I getting trolled by Jerry right now? Does that say move fast and break things? Nerd. Then we have a letter or some sort of paper here, and I gotta tell you, right off the bat, that is really high quality paper. By which I mean that is thick cotton paper. Obviously, we've got the Ram seal again on here, and holy shit, look at that. This is just the beginning. Be not overwhelmed. Yes, the responsibility you have assumed is great, but you are not alone. You join a great endeavor, but you feel far distant from our command and control operations on the Chrysopolis. You feel isolated, with a great burden placed upon you. But you are not alone, as you will see. You are part of a great network committed to bringing order to a chaotic world. A world that desperately needs order, strength. A world that will be better for your efforts. You may be far from the Chrysopolis, but truly it is we who are far from you. You are the expert in your territory, not I. You were born there, lived there your whole life. You know the challenges you face better than I, or Mortem, or Mandrake ever could. Truly, even if I were standing beside you with the full weight and fury of the flying city at my back, the first thing I would do is ask you for advice. What do you recommend? What do you counsel? The people call me invincible, but history shows no one who claims that title holds it for long. There's nothing invincible about our movement, nothing inevitable about our victory. We must work for it, daily and always. We can only succeed with the help of loyal partners like you. Do not think those are truly empty words. I am Ajax. I do not speak idly, and I reward those who are loyal to me. You were one of the first who believed. Therefore, enclosed within this missive is the coin of command, given only to those with vision. While you carry it, the war dogs will obey you without question. Do not hesitate to use it. Peace is just another word for inaction. If you look about you and you see the people standing idle, deploy the war dogs. Remind the people who their master is. You have the power now. The only sin you can commit in my service is not using it. There are glorious days ahead. I have faith in you. There will be future missives as our movement grows. Until then, be as unyielding as iron. Ajax of Phaedros, the Chrysopolis, Cressida Velociter et Frangeres. This is great. So first off, I love the tone of this. The thing about Ajax as a bad guy is that he's so fucking likable. He's so fucking reasonable. It's great. Also, I'm a big fan of this font. Like, everybody's seen a handwriting font, right? And they always, it's so hard to walk the line between this is clearly a typewritten font and somebody scratched this and it's terrible. Um, and this is quite legible, and I like it a lot. Well, obviously, the letter from Ajax goes right back in the slot. Am I going to be able to get that in there? Yes. Yes, I am. Prepare for part two. We take the lid off this thing and look at all this good stuff. First and most obvious, the cloth map. God, that's a good cloth map. Look at that. And this is some of Vasloria. There's Andrum, Corwell. I love this. We, and by we I mean me, know a great many of these. Probably most of you know a great many of these locations. Here's Black Bottom and the Tower of Fire, and what do we got over here? This is great. Love this. So, with the exception of Capital, which is obviously not on this map, this is where most of the cool, you know, MCDM stuff has happened, right? Here's Castle von Glauer over here. This is where all the neat shit has gone down. There's the Tower of Necromancy, the Tower of Summoning. Look at all these fun places on this map to go. I'll tell you guys what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to send a pretty high quality picture of this map to a friend of mine who is a map maker and see what she has to say on the subject. Probably by the time this video goes live, I will have feedback. Holy cow, look at that thing. Okay, hold on. Come on, we got to go. Okay, this is slotted right out. Ooh, are these the Ajax dice? I think these are the Ajax dice. If I can get them open. The problem is I'm trying not to tear all this packaging, and I have a feeling that once I get it going, it'll want to slide right out, but it is a little tricky to get open. That may also have something to do with the dryness of my hands. It was entirely to do with the dryness of my hands. Oh, look at those dice. Do you know what's interesting? Those are not the same dice that were in the original MCDM dice set. A lot of the MCDM dice, the class dice, and even the storyteller dice, I found a little bit difficult to read when I am gaming in a place that is dark. These dice look very easy to read, and I love that. So that is going to come in handy. I mean, I love the other MCDM dice too, but I think those are going to be much more usable. God, this is such a well put together box. Like, this stuff is in here tight. Tight. Ajax of Phaedros miniature. Oh. Now, obviously, I'm not going to put the damn miniature together here. I'm not even going to take it out of the bag. But there's something so smart about making sure the wings are on top. But there's something very clever about having the wings on top of that. So I'm like, yep, that's the thing I was looking for. It's nice. I like that. But there's more in here. There's also table dice and these extra dice to share with your players. You guys, look, I got the first set of dice and I have already given them to my playtesters. But since that original playtest happened, one more gamer has joined my table, and he's the only one without any MCDM dice. And he's playing a troubadour, and that dude needs some freaking dice. Oh, gorgeous. Love that. So that dude is going to get a set of dice now. You're welcome. You're welcome, Pastor Chris. You get your own set of dice. Okay, what do we have here? Ah, the DM screen. Okay, first off, let's show this to you as if you were a player. Like, come on. That's a little that's a little intimidating. And then as a director on this side, this is super handy. Got malice actions, hero tokens, some commonly used maneuvers, edge banes and tests, conditions. Conditions are the number one thing I look up when running my games, because it's the only thing that isn't stuck in my head, and there's a couple of different versions of them in there from different versions of this game. The conditions are the thing I look up the most. Negotiation rules, very, very cool. And look at that. Oh my god, look at that. The coin of command. It's a real magic item that is really on this director's screen. And I love that. And for the record, it says while you hold the coin of command, each non-minion war dog's loyalty color trait deals an extra d6 damage. And I got to tell you, I'm gonna forget to hold it sometimes. My players are gonna call me out. When the war dog leader roll dies, you can guess aloud heads or tails and then flip the coin of command in front of the players. If you guess correctly, the leader does not die. They regain stamina equal to their maximum, and you regain 5 malice. Fuck yes. The leader cannot benefit from the effect again. If you guess incorrectly, the leader does not die and regains stamina equal to half their maximum. The coin loses all of its effects and cannot be used again. Ever. You guys, come on. That's one of the coolest fucking things. Are you kidding me? That's so good. I I love any little tchotchke that makes me operate on the honor system. I'm so psyched about that. Holy cow, look at this. All right, guys. We're doing the rest on the other camera.
The upstairs part. So first off, this is pretty great, right? Again, we've got the goat on one side. We have the griffin on the other side. This is pretty cool. And of course, inside we have books 1 and 2 of Draw Steel, Heroes and Monsters. Haha, Heroes and Monsters. Let's take a look. Disclaimer, I am a pretty uncritical fan of this game. I have been having a hell of a fun time playing it and running it. I'm not likely to shit on it. So these books feel good. I am, you guys probably don't know this, but in my spare time, what spare time I have, I do bookbinding. And this looks to be stitch-bound signatures with proper banding and a solid cover. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, what that means is it's not going to fall apart. The revised edition Vampire fell the fuck apart. Fourth edition fell apart. Spelljammer books just fell apart. This is not going to fall apart. It can't. It's sewn in there. In order for this book to fall apart, what would have to happen first is this binding would have to fall apart. It's weird. Sewing book signatures feels like old technology. It is. It's very old technology. And there's a reason that we have been using it for hundreds and hundreds of years because it's a very good way to hold books together. We still don't really have a better way apart from PDFs, which will definitely not fall apart. This edition of this book looks very nice. It is perhaps a little bit, unfortunately, missing the cover art, which is gorgeous, but also I've seen it and I have it on the PDF. I'm not missing it or anything. I wouldn't say I've been missing it. And you know what? When I print this stuff out, just on pages in my home, it feels like the text is very small, but this doesn't feel like that. I was expecting it to feel like that. I was expecting to open this up and go, God, this is really hard to read. And I will admit some of the fiction looks a little tricky to read, but the actual mechanical text, quite good, quite good. Some of this is small. I'm not going to lie. Some of this gets small. There's a lot of words in this game, you guys. It's so many words to cram into a character sheet. That's actually maybe the trickiest thing about Draw Steel, is cramming all the information on a page. And that is a problem because you and I, have not been playing this game for a decade. There's lots of games that I can run them and I just put the keywords in there and I know what that means and I don't have to do anything else. And eventually we will know those keywords for Draw Steel as well. And until then, I load the pages down. It's fine. It'll work. So that is the hero book, the monster book. Equally gorgeous. Almost as big. I have the tiniest little nick on my book here, and it is irrelevant. Let me show you something. So there's just this tiny, teeny little edge fold up there. That is an area where the sheeting, where they were cutting the paper, and it just generated a little fold. And so that's their forever, which is how long you're blind after Prism hits you in the eyes with her powers. Um, that's okay. I I kind of like that. Is that weird? I don't think that's weird. I think I come from a time when if you got a book and it had like a little inconsistency or something, you went like, sweet, that's the thing that makes my book mine. I'll be able to tell mine from somebody else's. Um, if if I got this book and the dragons were upside down, I might be mad. Mad? That's the wrong word. I might be confused and disappointed, and I would be like, "You guys, you got to fix this," and they would because that's what MCDM does. And also, I mean, it goes without saying, but there's just who else is doing art like this? I'm sure somebody. I'm sure there's some other gaming company out there doing art like this, but I'm not playing their games. The Devil High Judge. Look at that dude. That dude means business. It's funny because a lot of this art is familiar to me because a lot of this art was commissioned for things like the MCDM Monster Book for D&D, and a lot of this art was in Where Evil Lives, which was still is an amazing book of resources for D&D that I am still running a campaign using right now. I think those players they just got to 13th level, and they love that game. Love that game. Um, but there's also new art in here, and I got to tell you, those shadow elves, that is cool as heck. Like, there's nothing uncool about that. That is some cool stuff. And I love the woad elves. I love that woad elves look like elves, but also kind of like aliens. I think that's great. And here's the fun thing: like the woad elves in my world don't look like that. They look kind of like that. They look they look a little bit more like a wild animal kind of thing. Like they do still have the big ears, but sometimes they have like doe ears. My woad elves have horns and like big sort of like prey animal eyes that schnick around in their heads because they're just a different kind of elf. And you'll notice that didn't prevent me from using these rules to run a game because that's entirely cosmetic. Who cares? So what do we got here? We have both books. 10 out of 10 on the books. No complaints. Um, and this really gorgeous little box set to keep them in. So I've got the box set of books. And that is going to be useful for me because my bookshelf can be a little chaotic. But this will fit nicely on it. The Ajax edition will not. I'm going to have to make room on the bookshelf if I'm going to fit that Ajax box, and I'm going to because that thing is going to go on display. But we've got that, the coin, the fancy letter, the cloth map, my dice for my players, plus the director's screen, which looks really legitimately useful. I like this. I love this, in fact. That is my Draw Steel unboxing. You'll notice, by the way, that I have already laid out the cloth map back there for me to look at later. See if maybe I can't do something cool with it. So that's all. We have unboxed Draw Steel, and I am perfectly pleased with the contents, and hopefully you are too. Actually, I don't care if you are because it's my box. Tune in next time when we plan steel. Forge steel? Doesn't matter. The point is we're planning for next session.